Well, welcome, one and all, to By Racing Without Mercy on a nice, cold and crisp Sunday. Did a crit race yesterday, best power in a long time, and I mean years. 2:69 for 49 minutes, and definitely the legs are coming back a little bit. Definitely, it felt good. Still got dropped, but left-right balance is 50-50. Anyway, very good morning to all of you. I hope people are well. No doubt quite a few of you are doing the Tour de Zwift Stage 2. And it looks like a proper nasty one. You've got a bit of flat, albeit in amongst the flat is the forward KOM of Utopia, and that will be disgusting. And then there's kind of a climb up the Epic to the balcony, so you only go a little bit of the way up, but that will also be disgusting. Then you've got the balcony, which is always pretty emotional. And then you kind of build to a crescendo that is the full Itza climb, i.e. the two bits of the Itza climb, I forget what it's called. And then there's a brief bit of respite and flat, albeit I'm sure people will keep the power down before you hit the top half of the grade. So all in all, I'm kind of looking forward to it and dreading it in equal measure. Vidal, very good morning to you. Good to see you. Martin, massive. Hope all is well, sir. Thank you for joining. Whew. Nice trainings I've seen from you in that kind of threshold with very short rest in between each of the intervals. Very nice, that. Dominican, good morning to you. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Mateus, thank you for joining. Very good morning. Pedro L. Pedro. I love that. Pedro L. Pedro. Very good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Paul Morrison. I hope you're well. And I hope if you're on call, it's not too busy. You did this the other day. Yeah, it's a tough one. I have no doubt. I've looked at the parkours and it looks disgusting, as I say. Toy Vidas, very good morning to you. Thank you as always for joining. You did this disgusting. Save everything for the grade. All right. I'll save a lot for the grade. I promise. Very good morning to you, Craig. Hope all's well in Scotland. Right, I think the sound is okay, is it? Let's check that out before I go any further. At one stage, my power cable wasn't into the computer, and I realised I was going to run out of power. So, as always, a little bit of chaos reigned. Top Cat is going to be in this. He went seriously hard on it the other day. He swears he's not going to go as hard, but we all know what Top Cat's like. Moment somebody pops off the front, it'll be like a rat up a Jane pipe. Stream is good, thank you. So, yeah, unexpectedly. Oh, it's your son, 11 years old. Well, Pedro, you've got a wonderful dad. A very good role model. Look up to him, respect him, especially when you get to 14, 15, 16 and you think you know everything. I promise you, your dad will have loads of good advice and he'll teach you how to drive as soon as you can, and I promise you. Just remember that when you're having a tantrum. But now you're 11, you're like, I'm sure an absolute delight to be around loads of hobbies and things like that to do together. Definitely. Good to see you, El Pedro. Rob, good morning to you, thank you. You still preparing? Well, building your fitness now for the coast to coast. Carlo, ciao. There was a guy called Valentino, I know, Carlo, just saying it because you have an Italian heritage. There's a guy Valentino in yesterday's Masters crit race. He was seriously strong. Dropped me. We formed into two groups, and once, after about 25 minutes, I was dropped off the back in the other group, and then turned it into a big old time trial. Right, just looking for a big average power, and it came. Anyway, the level of concern is high. I have, remind me to take it, I'm going to put it up here, I have a caffeine gel to take after the balcony to give me wings. I think, let me see if it's after the balcony or is it earlier? Oh dear, 1 second. Just looking at the map here. There is a strategy. Yeah, so definitely after a little bit up the epic, remind me to take my gel if anyone's around still by then. Oh yeah, nice one, yeah. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. He definitely is strong. He's proper strong. It's good to see that you know him. Beautiful. B to the B. Good to see you. Oh, balancing a long ride. It's 200 odd kilometres and a lot of climbing with the marathon. Flipping out. Yeah, I will try and give it my all. There's Top Cat in all of his kitty catty glory. The crit race yesterday surpassed my expectations in terms of the power and also the punch. The normalised power was super high. It was like 285 for 48 minutes. Something like that. And so, I really don't know. I said to myself, don't race today. Do not race. Protect your immune system. But here I am, like a moth to a light. So yeah, feeling generally better. All the volume over Christmas, the training style festive 500, did manage to get the 500 in, and the time on the rollers seems to be paying dividends. Only doing one intense session a week, albeit this will be the third. So yeah, the sensations are decent. How long does this thing start? What is it? Yeah, 55. I'm going to join the pen. Otherwise I'll be at the back, won't I? Oh, I am at the back. Oh, what an idiot. Oh, we're all members, yeah, we're all members of the Daft Club. The Daft Club. I mean, come on, Philip. But no, I mean, I enjoyed it. I really enjoy the streams. So, I really enjoy the stream, so it is nice to do this. I will pull the pin though if I'm not going to go into a place of complete darkness because I don't want to kind of impair myself, but if I'm feeling good I'm going to go hard. And as always, if there are strong riders in this race, and there are at the front, I really don't think I'll be able to hang in the front group for long because the watt per kilogram difference is huge. But now I know I've got a 271 for 43 of those 49 minutes. I know I've got 271 kind of a threshold around there. Just doing the chill work, very nice. Yeah, sometimes I wish I was just doing the chill work, but equally it's somehow so uplifting to go hard, and that's the problem. I have to regulate myself, and I've not managed that this weekend. If it was Alcoholics Anonymous, I'd be having to give back my my chips and start again. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. We've got a different uniform this time. Still got the same stupid bobble hats. Why is this? So what is the so about 22 kilometers it becomes miserable. It is these two little ITSA climbs, and they're called the Mayan Mountain and then the ITSA Com, then a very brief kind of flat, very brief. Yeah, 3 doing me's equals pull the pin, exactly, yeah. Yeah. Let's see if I can stay true to that. So yeah, the Mayan Mountain into the ITSA Com, and that is hard because people go fast up there, you've got a draft, and then you got the top end of the grade, and that's steep. So definitely I will be saving some matches for that. Oh come on Philip, get your head in the game. Right, I'm going to turn on my other fan. I forgot to do that last week. Just use one, yeah. Dear me. There's two. So I could just use them up and then pull the plug and do zone 2. Well, thank you very much, Carla. Yeah, I am happy with it, albeit when I watched the Chris Miller show, I realised there's better aero bikes maybe I could have purchased, albeit they haven't tested it. But I love it. I love the look, I love the Italianness of it. I need to get, I'm working a lot on my rollers at getting more aero. So let me just turn the air conditioner, the air on. Not the air conditioner. I'm working a lot at trying to get down more on the rollers and sort of not lose too much power, because my position has to kind of complement obviously the aeroness of the bike. But definitely when I tried it on a couple of TTs, along the TTs in the summer, I was kind of getting to about, on my own, about 38.5, 39 kilometers an hour as an average over the kind of the longer TTs. Thank you very much, Luke. I guess it's because I only ever started on the trainer. Here we go, we're about to go. I'm going to hit the lap in a second. Oh, come off it. And so, yeah, I mean, Zwift was what I really knew. So, yeah, I mean, the bike fit feels decent as well. Here we go. I'm in the wrong gear. God, they keep spawning, don't they? There's TC. Adrian Timmis is once again in this. How's his car raining? Oh, can't put it. Not as bad as last week's start, eh? Very good morning to you, Mrs. Sorensen. I use the coffee assist. There'll be no coffee assist today. Not from me again. Oh, confident. Did they do that to Ed? I bet he wasn't happy. Quite a shrewd tactic though. On the climb, on the Itzacom, alright. Same course. Oh, they're keeping a power down, aren't they? That's quite good. Oh man, can't feel it. Vivera SCM is for power, 75% training difficulty, 66 kg. That's the stats, the vital statistics. Get the cadence up, Philip. Oh, God. Oh. It's going to be a long day. Oh, trying to get a nice pedalling stroke, find a rhythm, visualise the thread. Good words, Martin, good advice. It won't be 57 deep after the forward KOM. We'll see if I'm still in it. Yeah, hop therapy today. Albeit my fans are doing a good job. Very cold yesterday, about 2 degrees outside, and definitely much slower air to pass through. Alright, it slows you down. The resistance. Oh, confidence, sorry. Freezing and humid. Is that a thing? I never knew there could be freezing and humid. Nice. Were you wearing too much? I've got a tip for you all. Now, often people ask me in the stream about economics and banking and all this kind of stuff. I found a channel the other day by a really down-to-earth but knowledgeable guy called Gary. And he makes economics and all the stuff that's going on, especially the UK economy at the moment, very easy to understand. So have a look at Gary's economics. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Minus 22. How-wee! Hey Rob. Good to see you. How are you keeping, sir? How's the US? We got a hard one today. We've got a Ford KOM incoming. Then we've got a brief bit of the epic into the balcony. Then we have the Itzicom into the grade. Indeed, easy to explain, very eloquent is his explanation. Yeah, but then predicting stuff very much harder. Found of the found. Love your picture of the colourful bird earlier. How are you? And like your owl lookalikes as well. You know how I love an owl. Found. Knows I'm aficionado. Top Cat. Top Cat is a hill climbing monster. Top Cat love the hills. I like them. But Top Cat, he's at one with them. When they put definition of steep English coal into the Oxford English, Top Cat's name is mentioned as a connoisseur and a regular attacker. Oh, sorry, it's trying to activate my, no, do not activate. Hey up Stuart, good to see you, how are you? Dominican, you're doing your zone 2, glad to hear I'm helping. Zone 2 is so boring, isn't it? Thank you, I appreciate that. Rob, yeah, the grade is horrid, isn't it? I'm not sure I'm going to be even in the front group by then. I don't think I will be. Yeah, zone 1 is great. Haha, thank you, Rob. No, not doing that, Rob. Cheers, TC. Thanks for staying back with me. That's hard. Oh. I forgot to use it, sorry. Oh man, that was hard. Yeah, I'm going to save it for the steeper grade. Oh dear, that was hard. But the good news, I thought there was the Ford KOM in Watopia also. Clearly not. Caffeine. Very good morning, Kieran. Good to see you, thank you. Oh, that was hard. Oh, it's a right turn at the top of the grade. Are you sure? I think we go up the top part of the grade. Why do I do this to myself? Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Cheers. Thanks for clearing out here. Cheers, Tomsy. Cheers, Tonka. I thought so. Oh dear. I'm struggling. That's only 250 watts, but it's hard. It's the big spikes. Same as in a crit race, but somehow in a crit there's a lot less gear change and much higher cadence. We do. That much to be thankful for. Dear Lord, please extend my gratitude for no radio tower. Oh. I'm still enjoying Tyler Haney's YouTube videos. He's putting training ones out there, power overlay, all that kind of stuff. Very interesting. Yeah, get the heart rate down. Good call, Stuart, thank you. Pamper myself a bit. Cheers. We've got 4 kilometres, no, about 6 kilometres until the Itzicom starts. Yeah, his sessions are something else, aren't they? The boy is a powerhouse. He's young and he's won a UCI race, so you know, he's got the fire. That's why it's very interesting. Also, the psychological part, you know, he talks about when the effort's hurting, what he tells himself, that he's a monster, he can dominate it. Very interesting indeed. Oh, dear me. Yeah, we'll just, wasn't expecting that. Yeah, straight one. You'll notice Top Cat's weaving in and out with his steering to make it harder for himself because he's holding back for me. Appreciate it, TC. Top Cat did this on Friday. Huge power. Oh. I'm definitely going to reach out to Adrian Timmis, see about a bike fit on my aero bike, how to get a little bit more aero. Dominant crab. Yeah, T50 average definitely on this. Such a long climb at the back end. In the crit yesterday, 49 minutes, 269 average. 284, 285 normalised, including 43 minutes of 271. Proper happy with that. Hey Philip, good morning. You're not in the front group, are you? I didn't see you there. Yeah, proper effort. Super pleased with it. We'll see how the legs hold out for the climb after that. Yeah, I'm hanging out there right now. Martin, I'm struggling. 6 hours yesterday, freaking hell. You beast. The drops I was in for a lot of yesterday, but more arrows on the heads and hunkered down even more, I understand. That's what I'm trying to practice. All right. Head to com in about 1 kilometre. I've had my caffeine gel. 150 milligrams, 30 grams of carbs. Cheers, TC. Yeah, I'm gonna pace it. Styrka. They've got one gel with 50 grams of carbs in it, another 150 milligrams of caffeine, and 30 grams of carbs. Big bang for your buck per gel. They sure do. Yeah, you're right, Rob. I think the aero will make a difference, and the weight. Get a grip of yourself, Philip. I remember, Paul. Excuse me to me. Cheers, Rob. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Thank you, Bubba. That's right, Kieran. No bit of pain. I'm going to pace this. Excuse me.
Cheers.
Dear me. I was happy with that. Thank you for the support. Oh, come on, tuck. You won't tuck. Okay, will you? Thank you, Darren. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Gotcha. Didn't realise that. Yeah, I can't stay with it, that's the problem. Oh. Cheers, Martin. Hey, Zwifty Zwifter. Good to see you. Yeah, it's cool. Oh. Dunno, you tell me. I was thinking of a nice loaf or something, but very good. My dad would like that. That's a dad joke. Yeah, it's starting to recover now. Thank you very much for tuning in, Kieran. I really appreciate that. Thank you for verifying the left turn too. Right, TT time now. The descent's horrid, isn't it? Not as bad as the grade though. That's what I keep telling myself. Cheers, Rob. Oh, I thought we were about to go up there. Not very clever. Oh, nice one. Let's see if it is there. Cheers, Chris. Appreciate that. Air attack was turned off, I think, for this one. She's going hard.
Oh.
Oh, dear me. Oh. 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 Well, thank you very much, everybody. That was a hard stage. Really appreciate the support. The support made a massive difference there. Like I said, I did a crit race yesterday. I got my best ever power in a long time. Like since before the accident, I got 269 watts for 49 minutes, 271 for 43 of those. Normalised because there's a lot of spikes and big power surges in a crit. Normalised at about 285. I haven't been near that in ages. And the legs are feeling alright afterwards, so I thought, well, I'll give the live stream a go. And in all honesty, I'd have ripped your arm off for that final ITSA climb into the grade. I didn't think I would be capable of that. Let's have a look at the power and all that kind of stuff. Topcat, thanks for hanging back with me, I really appreciate it. You're a gent, sir, and you did it much faster on Friday. You absolutely killed it on Friday. Yeah, 274 watts for 20 minutes. I'll just, give me a second, I'll show you what I'm working with, just to... So here you go, Favero for the power, because the Favero SEOmers, they read 7 watts lower than the kicker bike. And when I run out of gears in real life, I want to run out of gears on the kicker bike, which is why I've got the trainer difficulty. Let's go back to that, okay. Trainer difficulty, that's 75%. I find basically that accords with a 34 cassette on the back of my Villia. So when we're hitting about 12, 13%, I'm starting to grind. About 14, I'm up and out the saddle. So that's the 66 kilograms you can see in the thing there. If we go to the power, the timeline. So I reckon my FTP is a tad higher now. I've got it set at 265. But I reckon it's closer to 270 at the moment. I might even do an FTP test at some point. But having done 43 minutes at 271, I reckon that's reasonably accurate. 285 normalised. And you know, it's obviously a bit of a start there to get to the front of the group. I was quite pleased to still be in the front group and the balcony. I was like, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I was in the second group by then. And then this, the start of the ITSA climb to the top of the grade, that is emotional. I don't know how long that is. I would estimate a good, what, 20 minutes? Maybe that? A bit less maybe, I don't know. And then this was unexpected, but good mental fortitude and practice to have the TT to the end. I've probably averaged about 265, 270 for that final 10 minutes or so. I don't know how long that was. It was like an odyssey. And I think rightly, the lady that we caught, she beat me. She was a stronger rider than me. Oh. Yeah, I reckon about 21 minutes by the look of it. Yeah, so peak power. No, about 19 minutes. Yeah, peak power 275. What's the WB power? What is the WB power? I'm not sure what the WB power is. Explain to me, please. Yeah, Top Cat is on another level as always. Yeah. Oh, watt bike. No, I'm not using the watt bike Atom. We bought a new one after we moved to this house, and it reads about 5 watts lower than the Favero Axiomas. And I'm not giving myself that. Just as my Watt Bike Pro reads
about 6 watts lower than my Axiomas, which is why I use it for training a lot. It's harder resistance as well. Whatever power you do in a Watt Bike Pro, because of the air resistance, it's harder than in real life, I find. But my Watt Bike Atom Generation 1 or 2, Gen 2, this is the Gen 3 we've got. The Gen 2 that I had, that read about 5-6 watts higher than my Axiomas. I don't know what it is. It's flipping power meters are, well, they're just irritating, to be honest. So my golden source is the Axiomas. If I'm feeling really jaded or it's a really punchy race, occasionally I will use the kicker bike for power because it makes for a better live stream and I still get the same training benefit. After my crash, I broke my neck and my back, my jaw. I broke my neck here, my back at my T8, neck at the C5, my jaw, teeth. I had a bit of plastic surgery here. I was in quite a bad way. And then during my recovery, the bank I worked for went bust, and we've been in all kinds of stress at work for a couple of years now, more than a couple of years, 2.5 years. And so that's kind of delayed really the quality of my recovery. I have little moments of like being close to where I once was, but I'm really focusing on adding a bit more volume and taking some of the intensity out. Now, typically I'm only doing 2 intense sessions a week, one of which is a race, either a quick race or a Zwift race, and one of which will be either some kind of a threshold session on the rollers or a tempo with surges on a Watt bike. But I'm getting more volume in, and I am responding to the volume. This is unusual. I did tempo with surges on a Wednesday, crit race on a Saturday, and then another race today. So I won't do that very often because I worry about my immune system. Yeah, I mean, again, this is, the normalised would be quite high because of the big surges. But yeah, that's decent as well for me. Like I say, 269 for 9 minutes yesterday, 271 for 43. But in this kind of a race, that's decent. I'm really happy with that, and thank you for the support. Now, I was saying, if you like the discussion about economics, Gary's Economics on YouTube, he so eloquently explains and breaks things down and makes things understandable. I would heavily recommend it. And then on the cycling front, I said Tyler Hannay last week, Tyler Hannay this week. I've been enjoying his vlogs, his training vlogs. He's alluding to, he's going to tell us what his pro contract is for this year. But the way that boy trains is very motivating, and what he talks about is very basic tips that work for him, but also it's quite motivational how he thinks. It's quite kind of raw, but I think that's what makes it so good. So check out Tyler Hannay. I do really recommend it. Yeah, good shepherding by the Top Cat. No, I'm super happy with this. Like don't quit. Two days hard back to back. Definitely a full rest day tomorrow. Next weekend we got friends over, so I won't be able to live stream next weekend. I'm in the middle of doing the edit for something very beautiful in the Lake District. It's a really good video. Even if I do say so myself, please do look forward to it. Please do watch it when it comes. I think it's going to be a couple more weeks, but it's a multi-camera angle edit. But it's come out really beautifully with Lee Baxter. Oh, I'm away with the fairies. Properly away with the fairies. WB, Watt Bike. Yeah, so John, the Watt Bike Atom I love. That's what got me into Zwift. It's what got me into crit racing outdoors, riding a bike outdoors. I have a lot of love for the Watt Bike Atom. Jane rides it, mostly that and her rower. But I come to love for training, adore for training. I really do adore the Watt Bike Pro because you just get on it, you can manipulate the air resistance, the magnetic power, and because anyone that's done weight training with the cables, it's harder sometimes to lift with the cables because the tension is even throughout the movement. Whereas if you're kind of lifting barbells, there's moments where the tension kind of is lesser. And with the air resistance, I find that it's harder, even though the bike reads 6 watts less than the Favero Asiomas for the same kind of, if you dual record, it's still even harder to put down that power than in real life, because the air resistance kind of creates that even kind of resistance, I guess. And so that's what I'm training on mainly, but it's far too noisy to use for a Zwift live stream, the Wattbike Pro. Way too noisy. It wouldn't work. Thank you very much, Rob. I appreciate that. You have a good day too. Oh. Yeah, the old Smith machine, exactly. It's a little bit like that. The old Smith machine also gives you a nice, well, sometimes you get them in a bit sticky because they haven't quite maintained them properly. Yeah, Jane's got, what is it, a Concept 2 as well. Yeah, Concept 2. It's not too bad, her one, actually. It's quite a new one, her. I say it's new, it's about 3 years old. And she's doing intervals on it at the moment. She's getting a lot fitter as a result. God, dear me though, thank you all very much. I feel amazing after that. What I do need to do is focus on the recovery, resting up, and a bit of good quality food to ingest. Yeah, there's loads of ads for AI investment, loads of them. And in all honesty, Chris, I really don't know, because I am gonna, even though I work for Technology Bank, definitely AI is an area where there's a huge amount of venture capital investment, but also corporate investment into the space. It's very difficult to know which companies will win. There is a kind of a theory that some of the venture capitalists are investing in a lot. Well, venture capitalists, they have a portfolio maybe of anywhere from 30 to 50 companies which they've made equity investments into, and they only need 1 or 2 of them to return them like 20, 30 times their money for the fund to do really well. And a lot of them can either do okay or in fact can go bust. And for AI, I believe that this is a little bit like on steroids, where a lot of money is being pumped in across loads of companies, because even the experts don't really know which ones will do well. So if you're looking to invest, I think it's very difficult to know which company to invest in individually. And the best I could suggest is there are sometimes venture capital trusts that make, again, investments into portfolios of lots of different technology companies. And if you've got one that's sort of particularly focused on AI, that might be a way to kind of make an investment, get your money back on your tax. It'd be high risk though. I mean, I'm not going to advise anything. Your Model D bought in 2024. Well, if you bought it in 2024, it should be going real strong down. So I wouldn't know. What I would say is there's plenty of free resources online to go and use. For example, Google provide free training on artificial intelligence. So if you do some searches online, I've just forwarded it to my children, and I said you both need to learn about what the basics are of AI and maybe how to use it in your jobs. And so maybe that would be also a good place to start. Educate yourself on all the different forms of AI before you make an investment. I mean, lots of people out there on social media telling you, do this, do that, you'll make loads of money, you'll treble your money, double your money, you're missing the boat. And all I know is that it's very easy to invest, it's quite hard to get your money back. And so with AI, I think you've got to have a high risk appetite and be prepared for it to go down in value, or indeed lose your money, but equally you can make a lot of money. I'm not a... If there's one thing I would always say, never ask a banker as to where to invest. You're looking at the man who had a very large number of RBS shares built up over 12 years before the bank went bust, and they went from £7 to 0 to 10p, and are now worth, in equivalent terms, well, 40p. They're £4, but they had a scrip issue. And you're looking at the guy also, I got a lot of shares, and I did lots of investment personally in the bank that I worked for, Silicon Valley Bank, and they went from $750 a share in about, when was it, about August 2022 to nil come March 23. And so I lost a lot. I lost a huge amount of money there. So yeah, I tend to invest in ISAs, and I've got a lot of money in cash from when we sold the house, the flat, and I haven't yet invested it because it knocks you confidence. To be honest, it knocks you confidence. So I'm actually going to pay for an advisor, a proper advisor, rather than one of these IFAs. It's just trying to sell you a couple of different products to advise me on how to structure my own money in order to plot a route to actual retirement, because I would like to end working. No, but that's the kind of where I'm at as well, Darren. It's sort of maybe as a small part of a portfolio, I might consider it, but the trouble is, nobody knows. I mean, all we do know is that there is a big trend that will probably drive a lot of value in it. Also, you're paying a vast amount. There's investing in AI, good thing. Knowing which companies to invest in, very difficult. But also the valuation that you pay on the way in is huge at the moment. And so the amount of money eventually you have to make in revenue and ultimately profit to get back your money is huge, unless of course somebody else is prepared to do a second round or a third round of further investment rounds at ever more stupefying valuations. And certainly in the tech economy, in 2021, 2022, the valuations were going up and up and up and up, and loads of venture capital money was going in. And what you've got now for them is a big, what's called a valuation overhang problem. Not in AI, not in climate tech. The valuations are still going up there, but in enterprise software, consumer internet, sort of different parts of hardware, fintech, the valuations have come down, down, down. And so say you invested in a software company, I don't know, at the peak of the market, some of these VC software companies, the venture capitalists were investing at 30 to 40 times the annual recurring revenue, not even a multiple of profit, because these things are not profitable. The same companies might now be worth, 20 times annual recurring revenue if they're still growing heavily. If they are not growing very well, they might be worth 8 times. James Shack, Darren, 100%. James Shack is actually who I've reached out to ask for advice on how to plan a retirement, because you're 100% right. That guy is the first IFA I have seen that seems to talk about sense, structure, planning, and kind of, because my finances are a mess. They're just like, an IFA has said invest in this, invest in that, I've lost money here, whatever I've got, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm a banker. I'm supposed to be like reasonably competent with my finances, and I've watched about 6 of his YouTube shows, and I thought, all right, there's a little click through on his YouTube channel to see if you can get advice, and I answered the questions, and I've set up the first meeting, I think for next week as it happens. So yeah, he's the guy. So if anyone is looking for free advice about how to plan a retirement, because that's, you've got to plan 5, 6, 7 years before you retire at least, and those final 5, 6 or 7 years, according to James Shack, really matter, and I hadn't realised that either. James Shack, absolutely. Again, it's a bit like the economics guy I mentioned. There's some really wonderful. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but Gary's Economics. You're talking about just a guy sitting down and talking sensibly and in easy to understand terms about complex subjects. James Shack is exactly the same. It's like personal finances isn't the most complex of subjects, but it's something that we all, we're emotionally attached to, so we're not the most logical about it. You want to make very high returns, that you don't want to lose your money, blah, 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 and there's lots of people on social media telling you you're missing out on this or you should be doing that. And it's like, what the hell am I doing? But this guy, yeah, definitely, James Shack, I agree, he resonated. And he's a polished, professional YouTube videos. I would recommend them to anybody. Yeah, I will do, Philip. Yeah, I will do. Because it's a minefield out there. It is a minefield. Anyway, you said, Rob, yeah, you suspect it's unstable. Yeah, I think when the value of a society is diminishing. Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying there is true, Rob. It's I don't know if it's unstable or it's just what we do know is that you never get tons and tons of winners. You get ones that end up dominating, and along the way, some get bought out at quite nice valuations, and some wither on the grapevine. Ah, yes, John, that makes sense. Very nice. That's a very eloquent explanation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, the compounding effect is basically what you're saying, and that's what James Shack was talking about too. Yes, because this is why I tell my kids, because there's no defined benefit pension schemes or anything like that. I say, start the habit of investing now, because say you invest from your salary, they haven't got big salary. Well, one of them's still at university. But one of them's just got a job as an electrician. Say you invest £250 a month. If you do that now, you're age 21. The sums show that if you kind of invest it in a stock market ISA, it will be worth a vast amount more, like 4 times more than if you started age 30, and about 6 times more if you started aged 40 or something. I can't remember what the maths are, but you know what I mean. The compounding effect is real. Oh dear me, look at us talking about finance. But the one I really enjoyed, changing the subject to Gary's Economics, he was talking a little bit about, if you read the papers, all the papers are saying, Keir Starmer's government and the Chancellor, they're making a real balls up and they've overtaxed the UK and blah, 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 blah. And the Telegraph, what happened to the Telegraph? It was always right wing, but it's just become almost unreadable online anyway. They can't, it's like, there's no credibility to any of the headlines. There's no objectivity, unlike the Times, which is still good. But he breaks down, actually the budget wasn't anything like as tough as it could have been. But here's what the problem is facing the UK in terms of why the cost of borrowing is going up. And bottom line is, it's because markets are worried about the level of debt versus the GDP growth, the level of GDP. And because our growth is low, the combination of our growth and reasonably low inflation is not eroding the value of the ratio of debt to GDP. And so underlying that ratio is going up, and markets don't like it, so they're charging UK government more to borrow, and in turn that means less room for spending on public services, more risk of a tax increase. And in reality, this is not a situation the Labour government got us into. Obviously, it's a Conservative government that got us into this through excessive borrowing as a result of obviously having to sort out the pandemic, but not clawing that money back off some of the richer companies and richest in society through taxes. And also our growth coming off, which I would also put at the door of the Brexit. It's very clear now, even the Conservatives, Kimi Badenoch is admitting we ended up with a Brexit where the Conservatives have not planned for how would you grow the economy post-Brexit other than grandiose plans to create trade deals with people who didn't want to trade with us. Losing your freedom of trade with your major trading partner has been a massive hit to the UK economy. So, I do think it is likely that at some stage there will have to be higher taxes on the richest, and I would include myself within that, if we want a society where our children or grandchildren can grow up with a good police force, strong underlying education, a health system that's functioning, and very importantly now, investment in defence and security. There's a tab to pay. We've got to pay that frickin' tab. And I am prepared to pay that tab. But I'm not prepared to have a go at a government that's only been in place 6 months, or a bit more than 6 months, when we've had 14 years of mismanagement. I am a natural Conservative. I believe in kind of accountability, pragmatism, security of the country, investment in that, control over the finances, fiscal discipline. I am a natural Conservative, but I couldn't vote for him. I did vote for him in the end, in the last election, only because I realised the Conservative majority, the Labour majority was going to be too big. Didn't want to vote for him, didn't deserve it. Hey Lee, good to see you. How's life, sir? I'm editing our video from the Lake District. I haven't said what it's about, but it's a beautiful one. And by the way, everybody, when you see me on the final climb, gradually not dropping Lee, but hanging back a little bit for Lee, we had a very long ride. A very, very long ride. Lots of steep climbs, all of the Lake District's finest. Lee had changed his disc brakes on his old bike, and he'd done it badly, and he had done the entire, and it was a long, long route, with the front brake rubbing. He went through an entire brake pad nearly in one ride. That boy, Lee Baxter, is proper strong. Strong, strong, strong. Nice one, Jeffrey. Hit the select, hit the select. This stage is proper miserable. I do mean miserable. Save a little energy. It's miserable, yet somehow very uplifting. It's not dissimilar to the Fred route. You will love it, Darren. It's your kind of thing. It is an epic ride. Hey Olga, how are you? How is beautiful Germany? Is it sunny there? Yeah, imagine, riding any of the steep stuff in the UK on our kind of sticky road surfaces, all the potholes, everything. It's hard enough. Doing it with your front brake rubbing materially. That is insanity. That is Lee Baxter insanity. It's nice and sunny, is it, in Germany? Wow, beautiful. And what are you up to, Olga? You got any sporting plans now for the new year? You're going to volunteer at the Fred and ride it next? Nice. Yeah, Darren, I mean, the volunteers at the Fred, that's what makes it. I guarantee, I'm not just saying this because you're volunteering. the very best sportive in the UK, and I think it's right there in Europe for me. It's the one I keep wanting to do. I'm in it this year. Is the Fred Whitten, and in part you've got a lot of marshals because it's steep, it's gnarly, all this kind of thing. It's not the easiest, and you've got some very, very gnarly descents. But it's not just in the descents, but definitely the marshals who do it all for free because it's a charity. They make the event. They make it safe. They encourage you. It's a nice one. I appreciate you doing that. You're running. What kind of distances are you running, Olga? The other one I'm going to do as well is the Band of Climbers one. I'm not going to do their kind of got like 3 different distances. They've got the standard 100 kilometre route, 3,500 metres or something like that. 7 km, nice. Rip it up, Olga. Rip it up. So they've got the standard route. They've got like I think one that's about 200 kilometres or 180 and 100, I can't remember what it is, 160. But they've also got, they've got a 200 kilometre version. I'm doing 100. But I would like to go full gas for that. It's just climb, descend, climb, descend, climb, descend for 100. So that's August. I think there's still places for that if people are interested. The Band of Climbers, hardest 100 they call it, but they now got a hardest 200, where you do the hardest 100 and then you go back. I mean, definitely that is not happening for me. I would never contemplate that. Well, nice one, Philip. You would absolutely rip that up based on everything I see of your fitness. You would tear it up. The question is, are you going to go the hardest 100 out, the hardest 100 back, which I think is, that is literally, I think that's like 5,500 metres of climbing. I can't remember what the exact amounts are, but it's not alpine climbing, it's UK climbing, and that is harder because you can't just put down a nice tempo. You're into VO2 max, you're out of VO2 max, your threshold, and then you're off the power. It's a grind. Tour de Mont Blanc in July, I mean that will be definitely giving you the aerobic fitness for sure. Christ, are you doing the long one? Because isn't there like 3 Tour de Mont Blancs? I forget them. It's like an absolutely insane distance for one of them. And I have learned over my cycling that I don't really like the insane distances. The longest I will do this year is a very long distance for me. It's the coast to coast. But I think that is as much about cyclotourism without mercy as, I'm just looking forward to that. It's a kind of, it captured the imagination. I thought, well, fellow 29 are good. 330 kilometres, 8,840 minutes, 14 hours would be a very good time.
Flip it out. I mean, the Mallorca 312, which has only got 4,500, 5,000 metres of climbing, I think. I can't remember the exact amount. Did that in 12. And I was like, never again. Never again. 14 and a half hours. Flipping out. Nice work if you can do that. Of course, it's going to be all about the eating. You'll never want to eat a carbohydrate again at the end of that. Dear me. That is insane. 14 minutes is the Aztec climb. The Mayen plus the grade. Was that the Aztec climb? To the bottom of the grade. It's only, that was 14 minutes. So it must have been about another 7 minutes at the top of the grade. Yeah, 22 minutes I reckon. All in. You did 14 minutes at 4 watts a kilogram. Yeah, that'd be about what I did. I'd have thought. Look at the time here. I'm getting in my zone 2 here, you see? Not even zone 2, it's zone 1. I did that actually after we had the live stream last week. I just did basically, I think about another hour or so at this kind of pace. And I felt better for it. I think it stops the legs seizing up quite well. The legs don't seize up, but it certainly helps with the recovery thing. Oh dear. 330 kilometres. I love cycling, but I don't love cycling that much. Dear me, that is a hell of a distance. I'm thinking about doing again this year, Gran Fondo Tre Valle Racing, just because I enjoyed it the most. It's a bit like one of the Zwift Gran Fondos. 128 kilometres, 2,200 metres of climbing. Longest climb you've got is like a version of the Epic, bit shorter. I kind of like those sort of 100, well anywhere from 80 to 120 kilometre distance. Don't know about my feel. No, you're a different level of fitness to me, Philip. It's just, yeah, definitely that's a big one. But once you've done that, I mean your fitness after a recovery, 10 days or whatever afterwards, taking it super carefully, your fitness will be through the roof. Oh dear. Anyway, it is time for me to get back on my edit. So thank you all very much for joining. I hugely appreciate it. The support is incredible. It really did spur me on to dig in on the Aztec climb that I now know it's called, and then just have enough back to kind of negative split it on the grade to really end in a crescendo. Hugely appreciate the support. Don't think I'll be able to live stream next weekend. We'll see about the one after. But in the meantime, whoever you are, whatever you do, please remember, live fried, stay super healthy, protect your immune systems, and enjoy your cycling indoors, or if there's a little window, get outside. Au revoir, ciao, arrivederci.